Hi everyone, and welcome to our latest podcast for Simplified Consulting. Delighted to be joined by Tasha, Kirsten and Jane today, and myself, Kate. It's about a year since we did our gender gap white paper called Change Starts with Bravery, a fantastic initiative that we supported and backed, looking at the gender gap in financial services and looking at all different aspects of why that is and then what we can do about it to change it. So we thought it would be a really interesting discussion to look back at kind of what we covered very briefly and what we've done in the year since we did that research and completed the white paper. So Jane, first to you. I think you kind of looked at life events, didn't you? What have we been up to since we wrote the white paper and looked at kind of the life event side of things?
Yes, there are a couple of things that we looked at from a life events perspective. So one was a flexible working policy, which we've opened up to all employees, so male, female, doesn't matter if you've got a family or not a family. It considers everyone's needs in line with the business demand, etc. But anyone can apply for flexible working, and everyone will have it considered evenly and openly. So I think we're pretty proud of having something in place that kind of adopts everyone, because some of the feedback we had in the paper was all very much towards families, not including males. So I think our policy is kind of nice and rounded for everyone. And the second policy that we've looked at is our menopause policy. We didn't have one of these in place before. So one, we've got a menopause policy, but two, we've really opened up the conversation internally as well to, again, females and males. We've allowed everyone to be signposted to where there's help. We've all shared our own experiences as well. So some that aren't there yet, some that have gone through it, have kind of shared tips and tricks that, are available, and also just kind of being there to support each other. So, not all the time, but people might have a good tip and it's raised, and we can all kind of jump off the back of that. So from sources we found to nutrition that's helped to, all of that kind of thing. And I think it will help everyone be aware of, what might be coming up for them in the future if they haven't gone through it yet. So I think as a business, we've really opened that up. And as I say, for males as well, to sort of understand anyone that they've got reporting to them, things that they might have going on at home.
Yeah, because it can be quite uncomfortable actually for the men, to be fair, can't it? I think we've tried to make it as open as possible. So, the men can ask questions, or if they're not sure, they've got someone that they can go and speak to. Because I think, to be fair to them, they obviously don't want to do or say anything that would cause offence or is inappropriate. At the same time, it's really important that they understand that this life event for a woman is huge and actually can have really adverse impacts on their career, and that's what we wanted to avoid, wasn't it, as a business? So yeah, cool. Thank you, Jane. Kirsten, so we've been doing loads in the education space, haven't we? And as part of the white paper, we went and spoke to some pupils at school and got some really interesting results back on their views of financial services and perhaps why there is a gender gap. Do you want to share a little bit about what kind of we've been doing over the past year?
Yeah, so we've got a really good relationship with one of our local schools. So we've been in there a couple of times and we've been taking part in their big interview. So we've done a big interview with the Year 10 group, and we've done it again with the sixth form. So that's where the students prepare a CV, come in suited and booted, and lots of other employers join us and we carry out mock interviews with them. So we talk about their aspirations and their skills and how they've used teamwork, and really gets them prepared to go out for an interview, but they can do it in a safe environment. So they're at school, they feel quite comfortable. Well, they don't feel comfortable, they feel really uncomfortable, but as comfortable as they can do for an interview. So yeah, we just sit and talk to them, and they're really well prepared. They've really thought about what they want to do, and they always ask us what we wanted to do when we were at school and how we got to where we are now. So it's a really good conversation about, actually, you might think about at school what you want to do, but your path may take you, and usually does take you, on a different adventure along the way. So that's really good. So we've had some great conversations with the students, and hopefully next year we'll start to maybe go in and mentor some female students as well, so we're going to open up those conversations. And then also we work on the Future Advice Initiative, which is a collaboration with local financial advisors and local universities, where we go in and speak with the students and just encourage them, raise awareness about what financial advice is, and just open up opportunities to maybe do placements with financial advisors and maybe think about that as a career for when they leave university. So we've been busy.
Yeah, really good. And I think it was really apparent, wasn't it, when you were talking to some of the female students, you and Tasha actually, wasn't it, that there is a real lack of role models, aren't there, that they can kind of relate to. And that was probably one of our most favourite conversations with Kate Webber, actually. Hi, Kate. For the white paper, because she was talking about kind of role models versus supermodels, and actually a lot of women in financial services are just so high up, a CEO that you can't quite relate to, and then can't see how you can get to that step in your career. So it's great that we're going to be opening up the conversation and hopefully providing some role models for those students.
Yeah.
Cool. Tasha, to you. So you were really passionate, weren't you, about imposter syndrome and the background to that and the potential kind of effect that had on women in impeding them in their careers. What have we kind of been doing in that space?
Well, I think so internally, I think since we did the white paper, I think it's probably opened up a lot more conversation just internally for us as well. And we always have kind of ad hoc internal coaching for like various things, but it's just, you notice like things start slipping into that, and like people being a little bit more honest about how they might be feeling, like in terms of confidence and, thinking, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. And the coaching is, it's kind of much broader than that, but it does also support those kind of pieces. So I think, first of all, I think it's quite good that we are probably starting to open up about that a little bit more internally. And that's, of course, like between the men and the women at Simplify. So that's just something I've noticed, which is a really good thing. But yeah, I suppose more recently what we've done is we were invited actually to go to an event in London. So that was the Women in Public Finance event with yourself, Kate. And we did a piece on imposter syndrome, confidence and bravery, which was really good and really well received. I think you'd agree. We kind of, the way we approached the topic, so we gave them a little bit of overview about, the white paper, what we've done, some of our statistics, and then talked a little bit about, what is imposter syndrome and also what's like limiting beliefs. So thinking you can't do this because, I can't talk to this group because I'm shy, or, I can't do this, that and that for various reasons. And people were just so engaged and I think quite captivated by it, but I just think that's because everyone resonates with it. And we gave some tips as well. So, kind of around how you can reframe some of your thoughts. So when imposter syndrome hits and you start thinking kind of the negative things, how you can reframe those thoughts, how you can kind of capture what you're thinking, kind of identify it and do something about it. And there's different sort of techniques you can use to do that. But just the most important thing is really identifying like the thought pattern that you have with like imposter syndrome. And then what you can do about it. So yeah, I think we'll both agree it was a great opportunity to be involved in something like that. And hopefully we'll be invited as well to do other things similar to that. But yeah, really good, I think, to start getting out there and talking about it a bit more. It was, as I said, it's definitely something that I think everyone resonated with and probably hadn't talked about that much in such like an open sort of safe space.
Yeah, and I think what was really good, so shout out to you, Tasha, is it was obviously your first public speaking experience, wasn't it? Hopefully you don't mind me saying this, but as a business, hopefully we're quite supportive of those new opportunities, which are probably really scary. I mean, everyone hates public speaking, it's awful, but it's something you just kind of have to sort of do. But it's not shying away from that. And it's the same with imposter syndrome. It's almost like you say, knowing you might be feeling that way, but then, hopefully reframing that in your mind or just going for it
Yeah.
And creating a bit of a safe environment. So Carl and I often say, actually, you know, it doesn't matter. People learn from mistakes, actually, and that's a real key message that we gave to those women we spoke to. We had a lot of questions around, you know, oh, how do I get over it? And you just have to be brave, hence why that was kind of the main feature of our white paper. It is really brave to kind of take those opportunities, but also just not caring less, but I don't know, just being brave, going for it, and not worrying about if you're going to make a mistake, because actually mistakes are really good, because then you learn from them, and learning is also a really positive thing. So yeah, brilliant. And then just from my side, just to prove that I haven't done, I've done something actually over the past year. So I went to an event and spoke actually about our research, a financial services event with a load of women on International Women's Day. It was fantastic, actually. There were over 100 women there. It's really, really good. Sponsored by BNY Mellon, I think. And really great to share our research and our thoughts and our manifesto and our calls to action. I'm also a mentor on the Women in Asset Servicing group. And that is a fantastic group of women, actually, who are really, really supportive and trying to address the gender gap in asset servicing in particular. And then I guess just in terms of male allies, so that was something that we also wrote about in our white paper. And I think, you know, we can all agree that actually the males in Simplify are really supportive of what we're trying to achieve. And some analysis that Carl and I did, we're really passionate to make sure that everyone's on an equal footing, is we absolutely don't have a pay gap in our organisation, and that is something that is still a problem. So went to a TISA talk a few months ago, and it's improving the gender pay gap, but it's still way off where it should be. It's not 50-50, it's, you know, I don't know, 80-20 or whatever the stat is. So I think we've made really, really good progress, but still a long way to go. Any final thoughts from anyone?
I think it would just be really good as well, just to keep like continuing the conversation and keep speaking with our contacts and getting this out there and see, I guess, how much more can change like over the next year as well. So yeah, hopefully we'll keep seeing some improvements.
Definitely.
I think when you look back at this point, you know, year on, done loads, haven't we? Loads has happened. So that's really good to see.
Yeah.
Still lots to do. For anyone who wants to read our white paper, it's on our website, www.simplifyconsulting.co.uk, or just email me, kate@simplifiedconsulting.co.uk, and I'll send it on, because it's still a really relevant piece of research. We're really passionate about people understanding why there is a gender gap and all the things that can be done to resolve it. But that's it from us. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you soon.